Good evening. Tonight's main headlines. There have been noisy scenes in the Commons over Northern Ireland and 3 MPs have been suspended. Police in London launch a big anti-terrorist search to try to prevent a Christmas bombing campaign. And protesters turn up during an auction at the former Linwood car plant in Glasgow. Now those and tonight's other stories with subtitles. The Reverend Ian Paisley and 2 other unionist MPs have been suspended from the Commons for 5 days. Mr Paisley, Mr Peter Robinson and Mr John McQuaid all shouted down the Northern Ireland Secretary, Mr Pryor. He was appealing for calm in the province, but the 3 MPs said the government had blood on its hands. Amid uproar, members voted to suspend the 3, who were then escorted from the precincts of the Commons. Later, Mr Paisley said he'd make the province ungovernable, adding that government ministers would be unwelcome there. Meanwhile, the official unionist leader, Mr James Molyneux, has given the government an ultimatum. It must tighten security by Wednesday, otherwise unionists would take steps to do so themselves. The Metropolitan Police have launched a huge search for £500 of IRA explosives in the London area. Thousands of officers, some armed, are to check 300,000 lock-up premises in the next week, searching for the cash. Forces in the home counties are also involved, and maximum public cooperation is being sought. John Grant, Islington Central's Labour MP, who was also a junior opposition spokesman on employment, is joining the SDP. He'd already said he wouldn't stand for Labour in the next election. Now he's challenging Mr Benn to fight him in a by-election. The biggest auction of factory machinery ever held in Britain has begun at the old Talbot Works at Linwood. A protest by former workers, some of them chaining themselves to railings, briefly delayed the start of the sale this morning. 1 million engineering workers at a vote on a new 5% pay offer by the Engineering Employers Federation. Union officials are making no recommendations either way on the deal, which covers the industry's national minimum rates. The Australian cricketer Dennis Lillee, MBE, has been fined £100. It's because he kicked Pakistan's captain during the first test match in Perth. Newsnight tonight starts at the earlier time of 10:15 to cover the Prime Minister's speech at the Lord Mayor's banquet in Guildhall. And we'll be devoting most of the rest of the programme to Northern Ireland, with reports from Belfast and the House of Commons. And on the day the police launched a massive anti-terrorist drive, a report on how the IRA may be operating in London, including the first showing of a police warning film.
If you are ever near Linston, please, for your own sake, cooperate with us.
So join us for Newsnight at the earlier time of 10:15. Now a look at the weather chart.
Patchy dense fog in England will clear this evening or tonight. Tomorrow, western Scotland and Northern Ireland will have occasional showers and sunny intervals. In eastern Scotland, England and Wales, it'll be dry and bright for the most part, although there will be rain in eastern England at first and perhaps in southern and western areas in the evening. That's the forecast.